Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and today I am doing an update on my 23 and 23. I did a plan to pan video at the beginning of the year, and I figured that I would do updates quarterly just to show how I'm doing on the 23 products that I want to either use up or get really good use on this year as kind of a side project to what I'm already doing. So I'm already doing a rolling 10 pan project pan, which those updates go up on the 5th. I just filmed that one yesterday, and that one will be going up on the 5th. This one will be going up after that one. So there'll be no spoilers for my project pan. And then I am doing the deck of panning. That video is uploaded every 20th of the month, and it's a really fun project that is revolving around a deck of cards and a game board. But this is my 23 and 23. So I have some empties, I have lots of progress, I have some items that are kind of waiting in the wings to be able to be rolled in. So let's go ahead and look at the progress that I've made on these 23 items over the past 3 months. Since I am filming this video the day after I filmed my Project Pan update, I am going to be inserting some B-roll of the products. I'm going to go ahead and just use the same B-roll footage from my Project Pan. So if the B-roll looks familiar, it's because it's literally a day later when I'm filming this. So the products don't look any different, and I don't feel like I need to refilm that B-roll. So the items that I have not put into projects yet, I'll shoot B-roll of those, and so if the B-roll footage that pops up looks a little bit different, it's just because I'm trying to work smarter and not harder. I hope that all of you guys understand and will be kind about it. But let's go ahead and let me talk about my empties first. Let's do the fun part first. So at the very beginning of the year, actually on the 4th of January, I ended up finishing up the Clinique Quick Line Liner. So this is one of those products that once you roll it up, it doesn't roll back down, so you have to be really careful about not rolling it all the way up. I love this product for tight lining, and I actually miss it dearly, but I'm trying to not bring any eyeliners into my collection right now. I'm trying to use up other things that I have. But this, because I didn't know how much product was left in this, I did end up using this up 4 days into the year. Along with that, I did end up rolling the Urban Decay, it's very tiny, the Urban Decay Perversion liner into my deck of panning, and I did end up using this up, so that is how tiny in relationship to the cap. That's how tiny these get. So I think that these liners are a good bang for the buck. They are also my favorite eyeliner formula. I didn't really use the black a whole lot, and I wouldn't recommend Perversion for tight lining. It does transfer down. I know that Urban Decay has another black liner that they say is strictly for waterline. I don't know if I would try that. I'd probably just go back to buying the Clinique one because I know it works and I like the delivery system of this liner. But I ended up using up the Urban Decay one on the 10th of February, and so that was rollout number 2. Also in February, I did use up the Too Faced Pillow Balm RX, and this was in the Mango Kiss shade slash flavor. I did remove the stopper. I got everything out of there that I could, and I really do enjoy this product. I think I made comments in probably my buys and buys, which I'll link that up there. That is my monthly video where I go over my empties and my purchases along with my beauty budget, so I'll link that. But with this, it took me 2-3 months of consistent use to use this up. I'm glad I got this at a 21 Days of Beauty for half price. This is not something that I think that I would pay full price for. I do have the banana one in my collection, and I am currently using that as my morning kind of lip balm while I'm getting ready and putting on my makeup just to put some moisture back into my lips. I do love the formula. I love the scents, but again, I don't know if they're worth full price. I did end up using that one up on the 21st of February. About a week after that, on the 27th of February, very reflective packaging, but I used up my number 7 powder. So this is the Lift Illuminate in the shade Light. I really did enjoy this. I ended up having to repress it a couple times, and then to really just use it up, I ended up using it to set my entire face. But I really did enjoy this powder. It's something that I would probably buy in the future. I do want to try some other powders out, and I keep looking for the CoverGirl one at like our local Walmart, but I never can find it. So I know it's a very popular item right now, but if I just can't find the CoverGirl one, I almost said ColourPop. If I can't find the CoverGirl one, I would go back to the number 7. And again, you can see my spreadsheet right there. But I would go back to the number 7 one if I can't find the CoverGirl powder. My last empty, and again, this is why I am posting this video after my Project Pan update, so I'm not doing any spoilers, but it is my Believe Beauty Foundation. I did use this up on the 20th of March, and so that was my tally marks using it up, so it took me 3 months to use this to completion. I do like this. It's a good medium coverage foundation. It's $5 at Dollar General, and so it is something that in a pinch, it's kind of like, who did I see mention this? Like, if you ended up going traveling and you forgot a foundation, and so you had to run to the store to get one, this would be one that if there was, of course, a Dollar General around, I would be happy to pick up that foundation again in a pinch and know that it would work for me. So those were my 5 empties. The rest of the products I am currently just having usage on. Some of them I haven't used at all because I've been waiting to roll them into Project Pans. I'm not going to go in any particular order because I just have them thrown into a basket. I'm just going to pull from the basket and show you what I got. And so right here on top, I do have the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. I did just roll this into my Project Pan. These are my markings. This is what I have on my face today. So if you want to see me be able to use this up, go ahead and subscribe. You know, I will be panning this for the rest of the year probably because this is 1.5 ounces of foundation. I'll link my most recent Project Pan video up in the cards and also down below. But stick around because, like I said, I have some amazing panning videos coming up, but I am finally using this one after I rolled out the Believe Beauty. I do really like this. It's very full coverage. I'm mixing it with the e.l.f. Halo filter stuff just to give it a little bit more glow to my skin. But overall, I'm super excited about using this. I'm also really interested to see what a full month of use will look like on this product. Because again, the tube gets fatter the farther down you go, and this is 1.5 regular foundations. So I'm really curious about the usage on this, so make sure to stick around to see me pan this. Sticking with the NARS train, I do have my NARS Soft Matte Concealer, and this has not been in any projects, but I have been using this as my primary concealer. I used up my other concealer in January, and so I switched to this, and I mean, there is a big fat pan at the bottom of there. And again, I'll put some B-roll up of this product, but I have some beautiful side pan, beautiful pan at the bottom. I do use a brush to apply this. So I think that that makes it go a little bit quicker, but I just feel like putting my finger in there and then putting it on my face, I almost feel like this disturbs the foundation, which I know I ended up blending it in and it all kind of meshes anyway, but I just feel like I like applying this a little bit more with a brush. Now, I don't preface. So I use this on my under eyes, but only from about here over. On the inner corners, I do use my Bobbi Brown corrector, which I'll talk about that next. But this is wonderful for a spot concealer. I have been having a few more breakouts recently. I'm still getting hormones checked, and I'm making a dermatology appointment, and I'm watching what I eat, and like, we are not a sugar family, so I don't eat a lot of sugar, but my face is just not doing well right now. And so I have appointments with doctors coming up, so I'm hoping maybe they can have some answers for me. But overall, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my face. And side note, so I'm 38 years old, and I don't remember struggling this much with acne as a teenager. I feel like I have more acne now than I did back then. And I know hormones change. I know, of course, body chemistry changes. Also, I am wearing more makeup. I am using more products. So that really, could throw some things into the loop with my skin. But I am just frustrated with my skin. You think by the time, because really, I'm middle-aged at this point. We understand that by now. But at middle age, you hope that your skin just would calm down and not have these painful hormonal under the skin acne. So again, I have my doctor's appointments. I'm going to see what's going on with my skin. But this has been a lifesaver with that. So if you are on the struggle bus with your skin also, I highly recommend this. A little bit goes a long way. On my more difficult spots, I do let it sit for a little while, and then I go ahead and I tap it out. Since I did mention my Bobbi Brown corrector, this is what I use on the inner corners. This is in light bisque, and we do, of course, have a bigger pan on that. You'll be able to see it a little bit better on the B-roll, but I use this every single time I do makeup on my inner corners. I just dip my finger in there and warm the product up before blending it out with a sponge. I really enjoy this. I am going to be buying a replacement for this during the VIB sale, and so I am excited about continuing to have a good color corrector. Next product on top here is my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And if you guys can see down in there, there is a nice pan. So I finally hit pan on this probably last week. So I am kind of feeling some hope for this, even though I know this is going to be another 6 months to use this up. This has so much product in it. But I use this every single day to set my eyelid primer, and it really does match my skin tone. It does really well to kind of blank out my eyelids and kind of cover my blue veins and my discoloration up there. So I do like that product, but man, I will be happy to see it go later on this year. Let's do some Becca products. And so I have my Becca, what is this? This is the Sunlit Bronzer in Bali Sands, and I have a huge old pan on this. So this has been my main bronzer that I've been using since the beginning of the year. This is the bronzer in my project pan, and so I am making fabulous progress on this. I don't know, I mean, I'm going to repress this probably in about a week or so. Once I repress it, I think it's going to go relatively quickly. Usually products do. So I actually will anticipate rolling this out by the end of August. And actually, before I roll into my other Becca product, let me go ahead and talk about the bronzer that will be rolling in after this one. So I've already rolled this into my project pan because I do anticipate finishing that Becca bronzer by the end of April. So I went ahead and I just rolled this in. This is my big Franken bronzer. It has an Hourglass powder mixed in there also. I anticipated saying that this would take me until the end of the year to use up, but the way that the Franken products work, I really feel that by September, I'm going to need to roll in another bronzer. So, I mean, I'm happy to get my last Franken bronzer out of here because I'm pretty sure there are bronzers mixed in here from like 2017. So this is my way that I get use out of all my products if I don't like the way that they're performing, you know, how they come from the manufacturer. So I will be super excited to get the last of my Franken products out of my bronzer collection so that I can move on to some other, you know, like I said, manufactured products that I have ready to go. Now we can jump back to the other Becca product, and that is my Becca Champagne Pop. So I have repressed it a couple times, and this is all we have left. This is another one that I anticipate having done in April, so this will be a rollout for our next quarterly update. I really do love the Becca formula. I am so happy that Smashbox ended up extending the range. I want to repurchase Opal, but I have so many highlighters in my collection that I know I don't need it. And so in my recent project pan, because I know I'm going to be done with the champagne pop in the upcoming weeks, I did roll in my Tarte palette. I'll have to look back. I'm trying not to blind you with it. It's extremely reflective. I'm going to have to look back and see in my original 23 and 23 video, I don't think I had repressed my highlighters in this palette yet. If you go back and look in my my last project pan, I explain a little bit more, but I did mix some shades and I repressed some of my Fenty highlighters into these two shades down here. So basically I will roll this into my project pan. I'll go ahead and I'll hit pan on these two, and then I'm really going to focus on these and try to use these two pans up for the rest of the year, because then I will have rolled two shades out of this palette and a completed Fenty highlighter out of my collection also. That would put me at, I know I can't say that this is done until the whole thing is done, but that would mean that I would have used up, what, 5 pans of highlighter in 1 year? That would feel pretty good. So I'm super excited to get back to this. It smells like vanilla. It is amazing. I am super excited. So again, follow along, subscribe, because there's going to be some amazing pans happening later on this year. In this video, I just have pans on pans. So the Tarte blush, this is what we're looking like now. I should have cleaned up the pan a little bit, but you can see that big old pan in there. I'm going to have to repress this probably at the end of April. You'll be able to see a little bit more in the B-roll, up close and personal, what this product is looking like. I love this product. I can apply a lot of it, which is helpful. I like the Tarte formula, but I don't know if I'd ever buy a full-size Tarte blush. Plus, I have so many blushes that I don't need to buy anymore. But I've loved using this product. I think it's so fun to pan. It's so fun to use. I do also use this to kind of blend out some of my eyeshadow, since I like to put my blush a little bit higher up here. I kind of connect my blush or my eyeshadow to my blush, and I typically use whatever blush I'm wearing to kind of connect everything. I just think it kind of makes everything kind of come together. But overall, I'm loving this still. I've put a tentative date of me being able to use this up by June. So I hope to be able to show you guys a nice shiny pan empty in the next update. Let's look at my other blush, and that was the Stila Convertible Color, and this is in Ilium. So this had pan, I believe, last time. So basically, I had used it in a deck of panning last year, and I had hit pan. And then I ended up, I will link, I don't know if I can link shorts up in the cards, but I'll definitely link it down below to show you how I create my own cream blushes. And basically I use a heat gun that is usually used for like hobbies and projects and stuff like that. I use that to melt my products back down. So I ended up melting this back down to make it flat in the pan again, and then I hit pan again. So this is very thin in there because, again, I already had a decent sized pan, and then I kind of repressed it the way that you can with cream products. So hitting pan again after repressing it, I kind of feel like I'll be done with this by June. I'm working on some other cream products, and so I feel like I need to roll this into a project. So maybe deck of panning, if I draw a card that's appropriate, I'll roll this in, because I feel like I need to put this in a project to really make myself focus on it. But otherwise, I love this. It is so beautiful. I love the formula. I would consider picking up more of these in the future. I was so happy. I ended up getting this for like half price during a FabFitFun sale. So of course, if I ever see them on there again, I would pick up more of these. But hopefully this will be a rollout on the next update. So let's look at this one next. So this is my NARS Velvet Lip Glide in Bound. So I did roll this into my deck of panning, I think in February. It is for the prompt a favorite color. I love purple, and this is a very purple shade. I actually have been using this as a cream blush. This is the blush that I actually have on today. I have an Hourglass blush on top of it, but this is my cream blush that I used. It has tons of windowing. I'm almost to the point that I feel like I want to take the stopper out. In my deck of panning, I put my goal that I wanted to use it for 3 months or until it was finished. So it would roll out in May if it's not done by then. So I'm really hoping that I get more progress on this. I'm curious about taking the stopper out and how messy that would be. But whenever I'm using this as a cheek product, I'm dipping into it like 5 or 6 times to get enough product. So that kind of tells me that maybe a lot of the product is kind of down here, and I really do need to go ahead and take the stopper out. But again, I don't want to say I'm confident, but I'm hopeful that this will be a rollout in next update. Let's stick with the train of deck of panning. I did roll my Wet n Wild contour stick into deck of panning, and this is a finish goal. Let me go ahead and roll it up so you guys can see how much is left. That's all that's left on it. I have been using it for about a month and a half. I believe I rolled it in February. So yeah, I've been using this for a month and a half. Typically it takes me about 3 months to use this product up. I've used one up in the past. I don't know if I would repurchase this again. I'm kind of really liking my bronzers that come in a pot over the stick form. I also feel like this is a little bit stiff. So anytime I draw it on my face, it is kind of shifting and moving my foundation underneath. If this was creamier, and this is not old either, so I can't even say that it's gone bad, but if this was creamier, I feel like I would like it a little bit better. I am interested, is it Persona or is it M Cosmetics that have the bronzer sticks that everybody raves are really, really creamy? I think it's M Cosmetics, but I would be interested to maybe try an M Cosmetics stick once I've used up my other cream bronzer in my collection. But overall, again, this is going to be a rollout next update, so that'll be super exciting. Let's do my primer. And so this is the e.l.f. What is this? Power Grip Primer. This just got rolled into my project pan. I have maybe 6 or 7 more uses on my other primer before I'll start using this one. Because of the amount of product in here, it'll probably only take me 2 months to finish this, and so this will be a rollout for next update as well. I'm very curious to see how this stacks up against my favorite, which was the e.l.f. Dewy Pop Primer, which they have discontinued, but I'm very interested in this. Now, if I like this formula, I'd probably want to pick up the new one that has the niacinamide in it, because I do have a lot of redness and flushing and, again, just acne scars underneath all this makeup. I would maybe think that having niacinamide in my primer would be helpful for my skin, but overall I want to test out this formula and see if it holds up against the Dewy Pop Primer. We have some lip products, and so I have my ColourPop lipstick in Virgo Moon. This is in my project pan, and I have been focusing on this. So we have very little left. Again, I'll show you in B-roll what we're looking like, but I have been making amazing progress on this. I'm not sure if this will be in the next update. I kind of feel like I'll be able to use it up by June, but I'm going to call this quits once I hit the plastic. Now, of course, I'm going to dig the rest of it out and mix it in with my kind of Franken cream blush that I do with all of my lip products. But as far as for this video and for my project pan, once this has hit flush with the plastic, that's when I'm going to call this quits. So thinking of it that way, I'm going to challenge myself with using this up prior to June. Now, of course, I'm working from home right now. My lipstick drawer is right there next to where I work, so it's very easy for me to reach down there and reapply throughout the day. That's how I've gotten so much use out of this. When I used to work in the office, I would apply lipstick in the morning and then it was lip balm for the rest of the day. So that has really helped me get through some of my lip products, but I'm super excited about continuing to see the progress. And again, since this is in my project pan, if you love seeing things be used up, and I keep a bullet journal with all the tallies and all the drawings and the markings, if you love that as much as me, please subscribe and stick around. I had 2 lip liners rolled in for my 23 and 23, and this is one of them. This is ColourPop Little One, and it's still going, but it is super tiny. I put a mark on it. That's where I feel like it's going to be done. I did go ahead and I sharpened it today because I used it today and it was kind of just a nub and kind of looked gross. So I did sharpen it today. This is what we're looking like. I kind of feel like I'll end up using this up in the next 2 weeks. And that's why in my project pan, I did go ahead and I rolled in my other lip liner. So this is the ColourPop lip liner in another round. So this is practically brand new. If my calculations are correct, I feel like I'll be able to use this up before the end of the year. So we will keep progress on this, not only in my project pan, but we'll keep progress on this for the 23 and 23. I geek out about tracking progress on things and just seeing things get used up. So I love showing all my little progress pictures. My last 2 items are both liquid eyeliners. So these are the Clinique liquid eyeliners. I have it in black and brown. These are brush tip liners, which are kind of my favorites. Let me see if I can show you. My favorite type of liner to use for liquid liners. And these just don't quit. I'm wearing the brown one today, which you might not be able to see with the mascara because I only do like a little baby wing. I do this to kind of darken up my lash line, but I've come to realize that I'm not a black liner type of person. So I don't know about the progress of these 2. I'm going to see how I can do over the next, 3-month period or next quarter. But if we reach the second quarter and I still feel like I'm not getting anywhere, especially with the black one, again, the brown one I'm using, 3 times a week. I'm not having a problem. But with the black one, if I feel like, because this is so old, I don't even want to look in my spreadsheet and tell you guys how old this is. But if I feel like I'm not getting anywhere with this liner, I'm probably just going to declutter it. I have a brand new one in the box that I almost feel like I'm going to declutter that one to somebody else if they want it. But I might end up decluttering the black one if I'm not getting any use on it, and then I'll pick another product to roll in its place so that I have my 23 products. But let me see how I do on this. Again, it's old, so it might surprise me and dry up. I might just force myself to wear black liner a couple days a week. But let me see what I do with this, and of course we'll see in my next update how I do. So that is my 23 products that I want to use up in 2023. For the first quarter, we already had 5 empties. And let me go ahead and count up real quick and see how many empties I'm anticipating having at the end of next quarter. Let me tally that and I'll come back and I'll tell you. So I feel like next quarter we're going to have 9 empties. And again, a lot of this stuff are things that I'm working on that are going to be used up in the next month. But I kind of feel like we're going to have 9 empties and maybe 10 if one of the eyeliners surprise me. So that is super exciting. I feel like I'm making really good progress, really good pace on this stuff. The whole point of this is for me to actually use the products in my collection, realize how long it takes me to use them up, so I'm not constantly bringing in new stuff. I'm at the point in my collection where a lot of things are on replacement status. Of course, I have a lot of blushes. I have a lot of eyeliners that are colored eyeliners. I have lots of eyeshadow palettes. I will never run out of eyeshadow palettes. But a lot of other products, I will be able to get through the majority of my collection this year. I'm going to have to completely replenish like my foundations and my powders. And I'm trying to think what else I'm going to have to replenish. I'm going to use up a lot of lip products. Like my skincare, I'm at the point with my skincare that I'm using what I have over the year, and I'm going to have to replenish everything for the next year. And it's a really good feeling to not have stuff just sitting in drawers expiring. So, if you guys are being a little bit more conscious about your collections and your stashes and using your products up, let me know how you're doing. Also, did you do a 20 and 23? How are you doing on your progress? I love seeing other creators do this style of video and also doing project panning content. If you are doing a project pan, drop your stuff down below so I can go watch your video. But thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for liking and commenting. Please subscribe. Stick around for, lots of panning content and juicy pans that we have coming up. Thank you so, so much. You guys have a beautiful afternoon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.